There's this problem with my laptop. It always gets stuck right there. And at some point I realized that it might be because of overheating, and I was in a rush, so I did what I found very intuitive. I put the whole computer into the fridge. And sure enough, after 10 minutes in the fridge, it started again. And then I did this for about 2 months, every time my computer crashed, which was about every 2 hours. The problem was that it turned out this problem was getting worse, and I had to keep it in the fridge longer and longer. And now, when this happens, I actually have to keep it in the freezer. So for a very long time, I just did that every 2 hours. Whenever my computer would crash, I put it in the fridge. It turned out to be a huge efficiency problem, and I lost a lot of time. So at some point I said, man, this is my most important instrument and it's failing me. It's taking too much time and it's actually decreasing the chances of my success. It's not a viable option anymore, so I got a new computer. I first thought about repairing the old one, but it was pretty expensive, so I thought, well, I can't really afford a new computer right now, but Apple has this program where you can buy a computer, and if you don't like it after 2 weeks, you can even return it. And they actually extended that for Christmas time. You have 2 months to think and return it and get a full refund. So that's exactly the time I needed it for. And after those 2 months, I was pretty sure that I would either have money or no money, so I could return it in the case where there's no investment for my project. And right now we're nearing the end of those 2 months. There's still no investment. But yeah, I have this new little baby here that I'm treating very, very carefully in order to be able to return it and then pay my rent with that. So right now I have no other clue where I could take the money for next month's rent from. But hey, that's okay, you know. I'm kind of living here at the financial edge, but while I do feel this pressure, it's not really pulling me down. It's not like really freaking me out, you know. I've learned so much during this whole experience that I'm somehow really confident that I will always be able to contribute enough to make a living and get the necessary financial means. So my whole self-esteem does not really come from having income right now, but rather from my skills, from my knowledge, and also from my independence, actually. In fact, this independence, this freedom of mind and this belief in my own ability is really valuable for me. Like recently, a lot of people lost their jobs because there was a big crash in the blockchain market, and Consensus, one of the biggest blockchain companies, had to lay off 13% of people. And they were like really panicking on Twitter, and everyone was frantically, looking for a job. And I couldn't really take it too seriously because I haven't been with a job like for a year now, and it gave me all the freedom to do my own thing, and it gave me a lot of pressure to figure my own things out, and I love that. And even though it's not been working so well, I feel this is a great experience that people can easily go through, be unemployed for a while, and try to really see what you want to do in life, and have the pressure of not having someone to tell you what to do, but also not having someone to give you any money, but rather you yourself having to come up with ways to finance yourself. And so, I believe that kind of having this freedom to be on your own is pretty valuable, and especially in today's times where it's extremely fast changing. The world is developing and knowledge is developing so fast that it's almost more valuable to be able to see what's going on right now than to be in a structure that has been built in the past. And so you see that with art, for example, also with technology, but especially with art. The young musicians, the best, let's say, hip hop artists, are often complete kids. They're just so free, and they are able to be in touch with the very current stream of collective consciousness. And they haven't had a lot of experience. They are like 18, 19 years old, but they have spent 2 years just in the moment of history. And so this freedom of mind and this freedom of having your really independent point of view is something that is valuable and eventually will be appreciated in the market. So all in all, despite the fact that I don't have money for next month's rent, I somehow feel rich. And so this is the situation I find myself in the end of 2018, and we're nearing this season's finale, as I already announced, because this is the week where 3 investors will decide if they actually want to get involved. And this is the week where my fate will be decided, in the sense that if someone gets in, I can continue this crazy journey, and if not, I will have to finally do what I've always threatened to do, which is go back and work.